more about the attire versus the verbiage that's coming out of their mouth because, again, they're just reading stories.
Okay. Now, let's talk about Pride. You said Pride is coming up this weekend. What does Pride mean to you? And what are you looking forward to seeing this Pride weekend?
Looking for unity, looking for a major support at our Pride events. We typically have between 10 to 15,000 people, and I'm hoping, that at some point, that number will get to 20,000 people because we do have a large support that come, out to our Pride events. Our biggest Pride event actually starts on Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, but we have several different events to lead up to Pride. The biggest event would be Hampton Roads Pride that's going to be in Town Point Park, which is going to be on Saturday. That's where the largest number of people, that's where we have our special guests, we have our celebrities, they come for the main stage and things of that nature. So I'm just looking for more unity, more support, larger numbers and things of that nature, looking for more politicians to come to support our Pride because we have certain politicians within certain cities because we are considered the 7 cities. So each city has its own mayor, its manager and things of that nature, looking for all of those city managers and those mayors to collectively come and support one Pride because what has happened here is we have had Pride, which is Hampton Roads Pride here for many years, but each city now is doing their own Pride. Do I think there's anything wrong with that? No, not. But I think that collectively that causes a separation because now every city feels that they need to have their own Pride, of which we used to just be the 7 cities, which is Hampton Roads Pride. So I think that if collectively, if you have your Pride, it kind of takes away, from the collective goal there is for all come together. So that's the downside of what I feel as it pertains to each city having their Pride. Now, I do understand that each city mayor feels that, okay, if we have a Pride in our city, that brings in revenue. So that's what they're thinking. They're thinking about the financial gain that it brings to their city. But I think that collectively, it separates us also.
hmm Now, let's talk a little bit about Miss Models Inc. You've already had that or it's coming up?
I've already had it. It was my 24th year. It was on Sunday, June 11th. And we crowned our 24th queen, which her name is Princess Escade, and she was deemed the MMI Glam Dam. I made a decision when I started having Models Inc. in 1999 that each individual would have her own signature name, and I make a decision on what the signature name will be. So we just crowned our 24th queen, and fortunately, because of my connection with Hampton Roads Pride, because I am on the board of Hampton Roads Pride and also on the committee, to select board members, for Hampton Roads Pride. So my representative have been asked to be the Grand Marshal, and also my representative always performs on the main stage as well as the club stage.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, congratulations on that. You're doing an amazing job. I see you all over social media, and Miss Models Inc. is something that a lot of the girls can look up to and look forward to participating in down the road. So in closing, let's talk a little bit about um, where we should go from here.
I think our community as a whole, and I know I've used this word so many times, but I think that collectively, our community is just so separate within one another. So I think that if we could just become that unit with one another, I think that we can turn a lot of these mountains, that we are trying to conquer, and all the different, states and cities that are against our community as a whole. I think that if we become that unit again, I think that if we stop being so judgmental towards one another and be supportive to one another, and I'm just speaking in general. Fortunately, with Models, we have a big support system, but each year, I want to say to myself, wow, how can this become bigger? Because at 24 years, I'm able to pack a building, but I would want it to be a situation to where, people are at standing room only. Have I had that? Yes, I've had that before, but I think that continually, that's how we need to evolve in our community and be so supportive even if with our different states, excuse me, our different cities, like Richmond, is not too far from where I live, but even Richmond often sometimes, they become in competition, with the Hampton Roads. They don't want to book the girls from down here. And then sometimes the girls, pass on that torch and don't want to book them. So it's just a piggyback, situation that happens. So I think that, being more supportive and more understanding of, if Stephanie is an excellent entertainer, I don't have to personally like her, but I know that she will be an incentive to work in my bar because she's an entertainer. So I'm going to book her
Mhm.
entertainment, not because I personally, don't like her, as an individual, but I understand that she's great for business.
Hmm. And people need to be smart about that.
Mhm.
Now, in closing, let's. I want to talk about the gay community in general, and especially the drag and trans community, about Black-owned businesses, because drag is going to be very challenging with all these new laws and all these new rules and oppositions up against us in so many different directions. The girls now have a real opportunity to open their own business. And by you being a businesswoman and having a professional career, you could be a great example to help maybe get the word out, to encourage the girls to start their own business.
Um, I think personally here in Virginia, I think that a lot of the young ladies have made a decision to open nonprofits. And to be honest, I think that some of them have opened a nonprofit, for the purpose of profiting themselves, if you know what I mean. I think that
Mhm.
not as serious about the work, as they say they are, but because it's so many organizations that are opening every day and the funding is available, I think that often our community have taken advantage, of that financial gain, in a sense. And I think that a lot of the private businesses, that are opened by our community in general, I don't see a lot of that happening here in the Virginia area. We don't have a lot of our gay clubs even in existence anymore. So I think that it would just be a circumstance to where someone would have to open something that the community feels that is needed in our community. Because if you're not opening some type of business to where the community feels that it's needed, often, it just dwindles. I see, some people, that may open, a little shop, to where they're selling, drag and things of that nature, jewelry and things of that nature. I think that sometimes they feel that it's better for them to physically just sell online, because that has become so prevalent versus them opening an establishment, paying for lights and paying for, rent and things of that nature, to open a business people physically don't support. So I think that online capabilities has really caused a lot of the businesses that a lot of our young ladies, and young men would want to open within our community. It has caused them to make a further decision to say, hey, I don't think I'm going to do that, because how lucrative will that be when Stephanie may be selling the same thing that I'm selling and she's reaching a bigger audience because of social media.
Hmm. Well, I want to just say thank you so much for dropping in today on Pronoun TV and the Stephanie Stevens Show. We appreciate all of the hard work that you're doing and the great. I like the fact that you're a businesswoman, and that is such something that I'm drawn to. I'm drawn to, people that are smart and that want to make and their career good, and also contribute to their community as well with Miss Models Inc. This is a great thing, and this is what people need to see about our lives, that we live ordinary lives just like them, and that we have concerns about our future and about the politics and about what's going on in our communities. And it was great talking to you today, Miss Vega over Perry. And I wanted to say happy Pride. And
Thank
I want to say thank you for dropping in today and giving us a little insight on your thoughts about everything.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I certainly appreciate it. And again, congratulations on your platform. You probably will see me do this all the time. I think that what you're doing is magnificent. So every time I run into your news feed and things of that nature, I always either want to comment or I want to like or love, what you're doing, because I think that what you're doing is something that you probably thought, why am I wasting my time? Is this platform going to build? So I love the aspect of when I hear you doing your videos, and you're saying that, wow, this is finally going where I wanted it to go. It's building in the direction. So I'm glad to see that you did not give up, because I know that it's so easy for our community to give up. Sometimes you just don't know how many times I wanted to give up on having Models Inc. because, as you mentioned, I have a career, I work as a nurse, so therefore I don't need to have Models Inc. I don't work for any financial gain. It's me, the passion that I have for our community as a whole, and the passion that I have for pageantry that makes me continue to do it 24 years later. So congratulations on your platform.
Oh, thank you so much. Like you said, I didn't think. Now I see things are moving in the right direction, and you just have to keep going. So, to all you entrepreneurs out there, and especially our community, just keep going. Just keep going. I just want to say happy Pride to everybody out there. Stay safe, have a lot of fun, and just remember, just keep going.
That's right.
Just keep going. Thank you so much, Vega, over for being on the show today, and we will talk again soon.
My pleasure. Anytime. And thank you also to your son. Have a beautiful day. Bye
Thank you. Bye bye.
bye. Yeah.